Hi, it's a very dreary Sunday morning and we're going to be taking a walk today, just having a look at some of the old disused Chesterfield Canal between Staveley and Killamarsh. So we're starting on the western end of the canal, just outside Chesterfield. So we're right at the end at the minute of the western section that's been restored. So this is Staveley. This is Staveley Basin. So this is as far as the actual working canal goes. So this part of the canal is it's brand new. It's only been open a few years. It's not really in use because it doesn't go anywhere, but it's all part of the bigger plan to restore the missing part of the Sheffield Canal, which I'll explain a little bit more about as we go along. So the Chesterfield Canal, 46 miles long. It starts on the eastern end at West Stockwith on the River Trent, and it goes all the way through Retford, Worksop, where we are today in Staveley, all the way through to Chesterfield in Derbyshire. So sadly the canal was abandoned after one of the major features of the canal, Norwood Tunnel, which we'll look at a bit later on in another video. That collapsed and that split the canal into two, so we've got an eastern side and a western side, and it's the western side that we're on at the moment. So there's about 9 miles of canal that's disused, abandoned, overgrown, missing, being built on in places, and we're going to have a look at around 6 of those 9 miles today. So like I say, we're going to be walking from Staveley, where we are now, up to Killamarsh, right at the north side of Derbyshire. So if this is your first time watching one of my videos, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I do videos, some running videos, some exploring videos like I'm doing today, where we just go and look at old things or good routes for walks or interesting places to visit. So yeah, give us a like and a subscribe. And you can also find us on Facebook now as well, so go and find my Facebook page. I think it's facebook.com/wobbly.runner, but I'll put the link in the description and on the screen as well. Yeah, so that's as far as the canal goes at the moment. So from here it's all disused. So like I was saying, there is a plan to what's called closing the gap, to reinstate that missing canal between Staveley and Norwood Tunnel, which is near Kiverton Park. It's just the other side of the M1 motorway, and it's about 9 miles of canal that's missing at the moment, and that's as far as they've got at the moment. So it's very slow going, and I think they mainly rely on grants that they can get their hand on, and work from volunteers and donations. So it's very slow going, and as you'll see on the route, they've got a lot of work to do. So we're going to be seeing quite a lot of the Trans-Pennine Trail, because the canal towpath kind of crisscrosses it in quite a few locations, as you can see. So we're around 12 miles from Sheffield and around 4.5 miles from Chesterfield. I think the majority of people use the adjacent Trans-Pennine Trail, which is a much more direct and easy-going route. So we'll see if we can stick on the Cuckoo Way as much as possible. So you'll hear me talk about the Cuckoo Way. So the Cuckoo Way is the name that's given to the old towpath. It's also known as the Cuckoo Dyke as well, and that runs all the way from the start of the canal, over on the River Trent, to all the way down to Chesterfield. And we'll see that on the signs that we pass on the route. So we are walking down the old route of the canal at the moment, just leaving Staveley, heading in a northerly direction towards Renishaw. And as you can see, there's not much remains of any type of canals or any cuttings or anything like that. So we get a first indication of the task that's in front of them, trying to restore this this canal. I think the majority of the actual canalway has been sort of farmed or filled in. As we get further past Renishaw, we'll be able to see a little bit more distinctive features of that actually used to be a canal. You can actually make out that there was some kind of cutting and waterway there. So I can see we're actually diverging with, might be a bit too far away to tell on the camera, we're actually diverging with the Transpennine Trail. I can see the banking of the old Great Central Railway, so I think we're going to join it further up. Good walking boots, thoroughly recommended for this section. It doesn't smell too fragrant. I think I'm just going to have to go. So this is the first time we've actually walked alongside anything that resembles a canal cutting. I don't know if you can make that out through the trees. It's not wide. You can see there has been an attempt to fill that in. So we're right on the side of the Transpennine Trail, Great Central Railway. We're just underneath the banking on the left that you can see, and we're just you can just see in the distance we're just coming up to Renishaw. So that's the bridge. That's the bridge under the main road at Renishaw. So we have got a little bit of a canal to see here. So we're just around the site of the old Renishaw Ironworks. Hello. And there's you can see they've tried to restore some of the canal around here. It's I don't think the maintenance has really done justice to the work that they've done to try and restore this section. It's overgrown, filled with litter, and it's I don't think it really adds any value, to be honest. So this part of the canal is I'm much more familiar with. It's much more my own backyard. I do most of my my trail running around this kind of side. So there's a bit more to see, but that first section from Staveley to Renishaw, there's not really a lot there other than it being a nice scenic path that meanders through the fields. There's not much really in terms of an old canal to see, so but definitely worth as an alternative path to the Transpennine Trail. So that's as far as that kilometre or so of restored canal goes through Renishaw. That's the old Ironworks. It's like I say, it's been restored, but the upkeep's not there, and it's just to be honest, it doesn't smell very nice. It smells stale. It's just littered with beer cans and litter and weeds. So it meanders just through the fields, just skirts along the side of the village of Spinkhill, and then it joins back down with the Transpennine Trail again. But we have got a bit of a bonus when we get back down to the Transpennine Trail, because there's an old canal route, and then there's the newer canal route that runs alongside of the railway. So we're going to have a quick look at both. So that's the canal. Continue to head north towards Killamarsh, and as you can see, that's the Transpennine Trail that's following the old disused railway. So the old canal that you can see that runs adjacent to the old railway, that only came into existence in the late, I think it was the late 1800s, when the railway arrived. They diverted the canal on a more direct route alongside of the railway. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. But the old route for the canal actually crossed straight over where the railway line dissects now, and went off in the direction of Eckington and kind of meandered round towards the Rother Valley, and then rejoined its current route about a mile further up. So we'll go and have a look at the old route now, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at the more updated route. So this is the old route. This is the old route of the canal. I think this closed in around 1898, I think the date was. So I have actually been down here on a previous video when I did my my Great Central Railway Explore. I mistakenly believed this to be an old railway line. I saw on the maps the alignment of trees coming from the line, so I came down here to have a look. But somebody pointed me to some information on what this path actually was. So it was a canal and not a railway. I'm guessing this could have been the towpath alongside of the cutting. So we are actually on a quite steep embankment. So we're looking over towards Eckington in that direction, through the trees. So we've just been joined by the River Rother, that's just running at the bottom of the embankment there. So just to put into some context where we are, we've just walked pretty much behind where roughly the Sitwell Arms pub is, over that direction, and we're just heading up towards Renishaw Golf Club. I run down this path quite a lot. I've often wondered what these old stones are for. So you can see where the canal, you can just make out where the cutting goes for the canal down there. So it's been covered over by a farmer's track. But we're just going to carry on following the rough outline of where the canal was until it joins back up with the Transpennine Trail just a bit further up. So I've actually scrambled down now into the cutting just to have a look, so you can see the old canal walls. So like I say, this canal closed very late in the 19th century, around 1898. This part of the canal, should I say, before it was diverted. plenty of old masonry, some kind of sluice gate there. We'll hop back up onto the towpath. So just on the side of the canal is the old Chapel Wheel forge and dam. And you can see that the dam's just on that side there. It does seem to be heavily restricted, barbed wire, private members only. So it's some kind of fishing location. But the canal's just on that banking where the line of trees are there. It's amazing what you find out about the local history of places. So I've been running around this location for, well, I've been running for about 7 years, but I'm familiar with this location, and it wasn't until I started doing these videos and doing some research that I've actually sort of found out about all the old disused railways and the canals, and even the old war bunker that I went to explore last week on my last video. So if it wasn't for making these videos, I'd never have been researching about these things. So it's really interesting, and it's all kind of driven, I suppose, by the old industry in the area. There's a lot of mining, a lot of quarries, and that's kind of led to what we see, quite a vast network of railways and canals and various other disused things. So we've still got the canal cutting on our right hand side. So that's quite an impressive wall. So they've obviously made some kind of cutting to get the canal through here, and back in those days, back in the 1700s, that'd have all been done by hand. So that's where we lose the old route of the canal. It goes off across farmers' fields. It's not accessible. It's been closed off now. So we're just going to head back up this hill and rejoin the Transpennine Trail and the newer day version of the canal. So we're back on the old, later version of the canal now that runs alongside of the railway line. You can see the canal on the right there and the railway line on the left. I'm going to go down there now and just have a walk alongside. So we're back on the Transpennine Trail. So it's a really popular, really busy running and cycling and walking route. If you've ever kind of been to Rother Valley, or you're from around this area, you might have been on this path. It goes between Rother Valley and Renishaw, Staveley and Chesterfield. But alongside of the disused railway line, we've got, not a lot of people know about this path, but we've actually got the old canal towpath. There we go. So we've got the canal and the railway running side by side for about a mile or so. So this would have been the route of the canal up to when it's up to the demise in the early 1900s. So you can see that this section of the canal wouldn't need as much restoring as some of the other versions that we've just seen further up. So we're starting to peel away again from the Transpennine Trail. It's going off to the right. So I was just talking a little bit about the demise of the canal and why that was. So like I said earlier in the video, it's split into two parts. There's the eastern section from River Trent that stops at the entrance to Norwood Tunnel at Kiveton Park, and we've got the western half that starts at Staveley and runs to Chesterfield, and we're in that middle section between the tunnel at Kiveton Park and Staveley. So the reason why the canal basically was abandoned, for we're using another term, was because that tunnel collapsed in 1907. I think they've been trying to keep it going for quite a while, but I think a lot of the coal mining in the area had unsettled the tunnel, and I think there was a major collapse, and I think they just had to abandon it. So it basically just cut off this whole half of the canal all the way to Chesterfield. That was sort of cut off. You wasn't able to get in or out of that, and that pretty much killed the canal, really. So we're not far off Killamarsh now, as you can see. A couple of parts, a couple of sections here have been kind of restored and refilled with water, and I think this was done by one of the local fishing groups. So we have climbed up slightly from where we were back down on the side of the railway line. So I'm assuming there would have been some locks at some stage between in the last half a mile or so. I definitely recommend the Cuckoo Way as an alternative to the Transpennine Trail. Like I said earlier, it's a bit quieter. I think there's a bit more to see as well. I think you find a lot more when you go off the beaten track. But I think my advice would be do it in decent footwear. It's quite muddy at this time of the year anyway, but I think that the quality of the paths isn't great. It's easy to find. I found it easy to follow, but then again, I know where it goes. But I think, yeah, it's quite easy. I think you'd do well to get lost. If you want to do a longer walk, you can even start at Chesterfield railway station, somewhere like that. You can actually jump on the Cuckoo Way, very, very close to the station, and walk down the actual working part of the canal, which goes as far as Staveley. I think that's about 3-4 miles. Well, 4.5 miles it said on the sign, didn't it? So that gives it a good walk. I think it's about 8-9 miles back to Rother Valley Country Park, and you could even go further. You know, you can go back to the railway station at Kiveton Park or somewhere like that. Really depends on what kind of distance that you're wanting to cover. So there we go. We've reached Killamarsh, and from here the canal, the Cuckoo Way, goes off in that direction. It goes into the town. So it spatters out at the old at the old Killamarsh Central Station on the Great Central Railway. So I'm just going to jump back onto the Transpennine Trail now. It's only about a mile and a half back to my house from here. So there's the old station. So do have a look at my Great Central Railway video as well that I did on a nice snowy day. So plenty to see there. So there we go, thanks for watching. So it's been a bit of a longer video today. I was going to do this walk in 2 halves, but I was a bit concerned that there wasn't enough at the other side of Renishaw, going between Staveley and Renishaw to warrant its own video. And I was probably right. There was very little to see on that first few miles, to be honest. It wasn't until we got to Renishaw that we really started to see evidence, real evidence of a canal that you can explore. So yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll do part 2 from Killamarsh in a couple of weeks. I'm a bit conscious that I've done a lot of videos that are part 1 and not done part 2 yet, but lockdowns kicked in, we're not traveling, so I've got all those to look forward to as things start to ease again. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again soon.